Happy Wednesday and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Rocketeer Minute, where each and every day, Monday through Friday, we go over 1 minute of the greatest adventure movie that Walt Disney's ever made, the 1991 Joe Johnston-directed feature, The Rocketeer. I'm one of your hosts, Jim O'Kane of TVDads.com.
And I'm Hal Bryan, an airplane nerd from the Experimental Aircraft Association here in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Now, Jim, I got to tease you a little bit. We had a happy Wednesday yesterday. Today is Happy Thursday.
Oh, gosh, I'm off. I'm sorry, but it's
we don't know what day it is.
It is the moon landing anniversary. That's right. I'm sorry. Well, every day it feels like Wednesday. It's looking at the 10 to 3.
It's got a very Wednesday vibe to it.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
that's true. Yes. I can feel it. I want to go. Oh, but it's a different Wednesday. But anyway, we're back. We're watching Cliff do a B&E, breaking and entering here on the Rocketeer Minute. He's busting into the laundry room, and he's doing it through what Brian Johnson probably makes all day for a living. He's busting through some nice stage glass there, which means it's a lot of crystallized corn syrup has met its fate. So. Actually, I was reading up on how to make movie glass, and it seems relatively easy. I mean, I guess you have to get the temperatures right and stuff, but basically you're making candy. It's 300 degrees, light corn syrup. Add a little bit of cream of tartar. If you've ever made a lemon meringue pie, you've probably got some in the spice rack somewhere, and just sprinkle that in. Add some water and sugar, and then you pour it into a flat pan on top of some saran wrap, and boom, instant, or not instant, but at least an hour. You're never more than an hour away from glass you can punch through.
I wonder if there's anybody out there listening who has never done this who will give it a try. And if so, just be careful.
Yeah,
report back and be careful. Because,
yes, it's hot stuff. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Do not try this with real glass, okay? Do not contrast and compare.
Exactly. But it is amazing how convincing that looks. It's got such a thick look to it. It even, almost has that leaded look, which you might expect to see. Well, you're the architecture expert. Would we still have seen leaded glass commonly back then? At this point?
It's the 30s. It's not really heavily leaded. There'd be a blue tint to it. This is probably floated on tin and just made out of glass, and I think it's just a wood frame. If you look at that frame,
yeah, I guess it is.
Love those classic latches on there.
Oh yeah, that have been painted over about 20 times.
Yeah.
Over the years,
which
is amazing too, because it gives it had lead paint and probably some mercury and asbestos thrown in just for seasoning.
Yeah,
it's another interesting detail. I've never given this any thought, but the South Seas Club is this this immaculate. Just little haven in this film. Not so little, actually. It's a massive set. Here we've got this laundry room that we're breaking into, and like I said, I just now occurred to me the latch is being painted over and looking like they've been around forever. That's what a laundry room that's what the back of the South Seas Club would look like. Because this is not what gets the attention.
It's funny. That's the way most large banquet facilities. In my sordid past, I was.
Sure.
I've been a waiter. I've been a bartender, and if you go to a lot of country clubs and banquet halls, that's pretty much what every back of the house looks like, right down to the anti-skid strips on the ramp that our intrepid hero runs down.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and those railings right along the wall there, and then there's I guess it's just a laundry cart, isn't it? Do we see? That looks smaller than what we see a bit later.
Yeah, I think. I mean,
at first I thought it was a very sort of archaic wheelchair.
Oh no!
That
wait,
makes no sense. But
you mean the one as he goes down the.
Right about second 7, we're just seeing him coming into frame with the laundry sign in the foreground.
Oh yeah. It's almost like an old fashioned gurney.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's age appropriate for the 30s. I've never used one like that. Most of the ones that I've seen in large country clubs and stuff, it's usually a tub, big plastic tubs.
Oh, sure.
With the name of the of the golf, whatever the golf course ever ending in CC. It's something like if it's Happy Valley Country Club, it would say HVCC on the side of it, and poorly spray painted stencil.
And speaking of that, we do get a glimpse, at least on one of the laundry bags, if I'm not too far ahead of myself here. Cliff walks through this area. There's an ironing board back there with a great looking vintage iron on it. And then he's coming to the stack of the laundry bags, we see one sitting there that, as far as I can tell, just has SS stamped on it.
Yeah, I guess it's famous enough that South Seas, that would be enough.
Yeah, would be enough. And no unintentional foreshadowing to some of Neville Sinclair's friends who show up at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Very, very different kind of SS.
I find it really odd that, whatever room that was that Clifford broke into, it was just simple plate glass versus the laundry room is rather heavily protected with the safety glass. That's that one's with the chain link.
Sure.
Kind of baked into it. With bars on the front and, panes. He wasn't going to come in through the laundry room.
It is, the laundry room is a fortress. It looks more like a prison laundry, doesn't it?
Yeah, doesn't it?
Than anything else.
And I keep looking at that bottle on the shelf. Probably looks a lot like a bottle of Bromo seltzer.
Yeah.
So maybe
I bet you that's what that is. I was trying to think. We can't get a great look at it, at least in my mind, but...
It could be, or the other thing I remember, these are more memories of my ancient childhood growing up during the Civil War. I can remember some...
When you were enacting the Civil War versus Billy later reenacting the Civil War.
Yeah, we had... I can remember a neighbor who used Niagara spray starch, but it wasn't... The Niagara starch was not in a spray can. It was in a bottle like that, and you would fill up like a Windex pump sprayer. And that would be the bottle that the starch came in. So that could be starch.
It would make a little more sense than just to have a random bottle of Bromo seltzer sitting there. Though the Bromo bottles were blue.
They were blue. That was a common thing.
I don't know if they made them that big.
No, but blue bottles, like the copper sulfate bottles were a common thing back then. The blue bottles were popular in the 30s for everything from... not only just the for merchandise, but it was also used for things like dinnerware and things like that. The blue glass. And I could swear that's a HODL behind them, but I know it isn't. It's probably just a... Oh, no, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm confusing that thing. It looked like a HODL, but it's actually an electrical outlet followed by an iron, an old-fashioned iron.
Far off to the left there.
Yeah.
You could... Yeah, if you... In some frames, they start to blur together, but then when you... look again, you can see it's an electric iron with an interesting stand. The way it's held up, there's a good inch and a half of clearance above the ironing board when you set it in its stand, and then you can see where you'd lift it off, and that you can just tell the texture of that big, heavy, cloth wrapped power cord as well.
Oh yeah, and the heaviness only compounded by the windows, which obviously had those big steel sash weights that were inside the walls.
Right.
That is one solid building. I know this is just one big prop. I don't think they went on they went on location, but it's a heck of an accurate looking laundry room of the 30s. Trying to get somebody on who does modern commercial laundry, and by the time we get out of the South Seas, I hope we have the person I'm thinking of on. So stay tuned, please.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And do you ever get the sense, is there a hotel associated with the South Seas Club? Did we ever?
I don't know. I don't think so. There's a brief scene where we're flying over the South Seas Club, and all I see is it's just kind of by itself, about a half a block down from. It's actually diagonally across the street on Hollywood and Vine. It's on the. I'm trying to think. It would be on the southeast corner of Hollywood and Vine.
Okay.
Kind of would be over. I'm trying to picture what's on those corners, but it's that one corner that nothing ever seems to get built on.
Interesting.
The northwest
I just
corner.
wonder, because I was sitting here thinking, I guess with white waiters' uniforms and all the tablecloths, the South Seas would do a fair amount of laundry, but it just not only in this minute, but later, not to give anything away, we come back to this room and there is a lot of laundry in here.
Yeah, well, dinner's gone on, and I'm assuming that they're putting out a fresh tablecloth for every.
That's true.
We've had the soup course as we know.
Yes, as we know, and that all doesn't always go well. For everyone. Then very quickly as we transition from the laundry room, and we come into the club, we see several scenes. We get a glimpse of that gorgeous mural in the background, and
isn't it something? It's like wow, it's a diorama almost.
Yeah, no, looks like it has so much depth to it, and this was driving me nuts for a long time because I knew it was familiar. I knew I'd seen it before, but I wasn't quite sure where. And then it clicked. This is from I will stake. Well, Jim, I'll stake your reputation on it. If I'm not quite ready to stake my own.
So, okay.
That this is a painting by a guy named P.G. Lawler, Paul George Lawler, who worked with Pan American Airlines, and he was their primary artist
For like travel posters?
For travel posters, yeah, from the 30s to the 50s. And this was, if you Google Pan Am South Pacific travel poster, you will see snippets of, I guess I can't tell you that this is the exact painting because it had to be recreated. Plus there's
It's Lawler-esque.
Yes, it's very Lawler-esque, but it's the colors, the angle, everything looks right. The reclining woman on the far right, and then in sort of a widescreen version, there's a woman on the far left carrying a big basket of fruit. In what I know, it's cropped about halfway to the right, so you just see the right side of it. And there's a Boeing 314, the Pan Am Clipper flying boat, very prominently placed in front of the hill. I think if people look up at that travel poster and compare it, I think you'll agree. Especially when you see slightly wider versions of Lawler's work. The scene there is the harbor of Pago Pago, the capital of American Samoa, which was home to a U.S. Navy base from the late 1800s up through the late 40s, early 50s, I think.
So a location-appropriate mural.
Absolutely, right there, smack dab in the middle of the South Seas. And not a hugely common stop for Pan Am, but it was one that they certainly served that area and made stops there. They found, if I remember correctly, the 314s, the big luxurious clippers. Or basically think South Seas Club plus luxury hotel in the air is what these flying clippers were like. And they would stop at here at Pago Pago on their way to New Zealand, going across the Pacific.
Little spot of civilization out in the middle of the tropical paradises around.
Exactly, complete with friendly natives to bring you gigantic baskets of fruit on their heads.
Well, the ones that are not, that are on shift, the ones that are off duty are just laying down in their large floral outfits. Yeah,
but there's something about that color palette I absolutely love. There's so much sort of golden warmth to the hillside than the blue in the foreground. And it's instantly evocative of the era, and I think they just I have to presume that they had an artist come and sort of use this poster as a bit of inspiration and then just paint it large and sort of recreate it.
Looking also at a world gone by as the fellow carving the roast at the table.
Oh, sure.
That beautiful. I mean, you can do that, but most of the places you go now, it's if you go to Brazilian restaurants where they bring around plates of meat and things like that. But the only at-table place now. It's
there's a terrific Brazilian place in Seattle. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it. They're old school enough. They carve it at the table, and you really don't even get a plate. You just get sort of an extra thickness of wood in front of you to eat the steak off of. It
classic.
Is very classic.
I was at my old co-host on the Airport Minute, Mark Cerulli, had his 40th birthday party in the basement is the wrong word, in the bottom level of the Plaza Hotel in New York.
Oh, wow.
And there's a beautiful Brazilian restaurant in the basement, and they actually carve with swords, large broadswords.
Oh, how cool is that?
And bring you like little eye rounds about as big as a meatball on the ends of the swords, and they just like slide them off on ready for you to pop into your mouth.
I'm officially hungry.
Yeah, I just had a roast beef sandwich and I want more.
As we progress through the minute, Cliff gets a glimpse and more great facial frustration by our pal Billy Campbell.
Yeah,
gets that glimpse of Jenny and Neville out there on the dance floor.
Yeah,
and it's
just before we get there, though, I just
sure.
wanted to point out, I don't know if it's a friend of the producer or it's the director's oldest daughter or somebody, but there is somebody who has, I don't think, ever been a background star, and she walks in front of Billy at about second 42, and she's got this ear-to-ear grin like, I'm in the movies.
Look at me, I'm a star.
she just cut in front of the Rocketeer himself.
That is just fantastic. Yeah, I just saw her. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, but we were watching, like you said, we're back. He gets his first glimpse of the radiant Jennifer Connelly in that beautiful white dress, dancing with the man in the purple suit.
Yet it works for him.
It does. It really. He
let's
can
face it, Jim.
that.
He pulls it off.
Yeah, I mean that guy has game like Parker Brothers. It's just,
boy. It's amazing too because they're literally right there in the spotlight, and your attention immediately goes to them. But it's not exaggerated. It's not like the whole other scene is pitch black and we've got just this one very artificial bit of light. It's just they're the ones who are sort of, especially Jenny with that white dress, they're the ones who are just glowing in this scene.
Wow, yeah, it's amazing, and just then it's not the James Horner score. It's we've talked about In a Sentimental Mood previously with Tom Geyer, but that music just brings it right up, and you can just feel Cliff about to scream.
Right,
he just wants to go take the guy's head off.
And I love watching the band leader with the clarinet, who's perched in front of the what we've agreed after a lot of acrimonious discussion to just call a mollusk. I think is where we ended up. And
some shellfish device. Yeah,
shellfish. He just ends it with such a flourish, and then he turns back to the audience to accept a bit of applause.
Yeah, and he's got that kind of a Cab Calloway tails on.
Those really long tails, and he's wielding the clarinet like a weapon almost.
Yeah, and Neville and now Jenny knows that they own the room. I mean, it's getting wild applause and stuff. Just you can just feel the gorge. I think is the proper word. The gorge rising in
Clifford.
In Clifford, yeah.
And it almost it looks as if like the band leader with his back to the audience as he's taken the band right to the very end. He's turning around and sort of expecting the applause to be for him, but then as soon as you look at Jenny and Neville, as you said, they're just basking in it, and you said it perfectly. They own the room, and everybody's looking at them.
Yeah,
that's not something I'd really picked up on before. That I just you want to think, well, hooray for the band, but no, never mind. It's two people dancing.
Son of a He's just ready to just run down, but
somebody
he can't.
Somebody's been on stage and brushing away at the drums while people dance and things.
Yeah,
you really want the applause to be for the musicians, but it almost never is.
Yeah. No, these guys are destined to be background. It's a shame. But anyway, we've got a good wrap up on this minute. But we got to talk. We'll talk some more on Real Thursday tomorrow. That's right. On Real Thursday, which is tomorrow.
No.
On Real Friday. Today's Real Thursday.
Yes.
No.
Today is Fake Wednesday. Real Thursday.
Today's Fake Wednesday. Real Thursday. So join us tomorrow. Hopefully it's Friday, but we'll wrap up the week tomorrow with. You know who? I mean,
amazing.
We've been waiting. We've had her on 2 weeks ago, but you've got to come back and hear the beloved, lovely, wonderful, talented Melora Hardin will be with us tomorrow, and she's got a lot to say. And we're also going to talk to her about another movie and kind of an uncomfortable question, but I think she'll handle it with aplomb. So we'll check back with us tomorrow as we welcome back the lovely Melora Hardin, and we'll try not to gush, right? So. No gushing.
Good luck.
Yeah, okay. Meanwhile, join us here on social media while you're waiting for Melora to show up. Twitter, of course, Rocketeer Minute. Facebook, facebook.com/Rocketeer. You know all this stuff. Let's go to rocketeerminute.com and put something around it, and you can find us. And you can find us on iTunes, Google Play. Go there, type in Rocketeer Minute. You can subscribe, get this every day. It'll be fine. Join us here as we really end the week on Real Friday tomorrow with Melora Hardin on the Rocketeer Minute. So until next time, over and out.
Go get him, kid.